I've had some very fancy watches on my channel lately, so it is time to cop a mallet to the face, or at least wrist. My favorite New Zealand / South African brand is back, and our friend Mike is doing some fun things with his Kruger model. Now straight off the bat, if you like the look but don't want to spend the dosh, there are mecha quartz versions of this watch available that will save you a significant amount. I have chosen to cover the automatic version today, mainly since I actually reviewed the white dial mecha quartz version 3 years ago, linked up here. If like me you've always been fascinated by some of the more sturdy watches that come out of Germany, like the ones from Damasco and to an extent Zinn, you'll love the Kruger. This is a well-made absolute beast of a watch, packed with features, and through your purchase alone, you'll help combat poachers in Kruger National Park in South Africa, which is an incredibly worthwhile cause. One thing the Germans go on about is their tegimented or hardened treatment of their watch cases, and we get something similar here with a 1200 Vickers hardened titanium case. So unlike the usual titanium non-avoidable scratches, this should be able to be worn without too much worrying. You can also get both models in incredibly cool blacked out DLC versions. You can customize the bezels, and you can get a belt ready pouch that will have you feel like a ranger in no time, which certainly had me dreaming myself back to Africa through handling it alone. So that's an intro I hope will be interesting enough for you to want to learn more, so stick around and let's head off to the savannas of South Africa. So as mentioned, you get an on-brand cardboard box with a bamboo holder for your watches within a molly pouch that can be customized with your Velcro patch, which in this case is a beautiful white rhino. It's one of the more unique and lovely approaches to watch packaging in my opinion. Having traveled a fair amount on the great continent of Africa, it feels to me like Mike is giving us some of the spirit of some of the most spectacular nature on Earth. Africa is incredibly special and varies immensely from south to north and all in between. Sizes are appropriately rhino-sized with a diameter of 44mm or 48.6 including the crown. Lug to lug is 49mm and lug width is 22mm. It is 15.7mm thick, but on that note, go the mecha quartz if that bothers you, since that is 3mm thinner. On bracelet size for me, it's 153 gram, and we get a water resistance of 100 meters. A fair contributor to this thickness, which powers a lot of the Zinn chronos too, hence their thickness, is this movement, which is a whole 7.9mm thick. But it delivers a lot in return for heft. It's not unlike the Homer Simpson car for the people this movement in delivering all of the things, whether you want to or not, but I'd say the end result is better. We get a day-date complication at 3, a running small seconds at 9, a minute counter at 12, which unlike the mecha quartz movements gives you that precise tick at the minute counts, and hours at 6. And also of course the chrono seconds counter, which matches the red color in the Kruger model name, which sits under the Draken logo at the 3 position. There is a lot going on with this dial, but it also looks really cool in my opinion. I could totally see this on a ranger on the savannas. Legibility can suffer with such busy dials, but not so here. Clear and thick hands makes it easy to see what time it is, which some say is handy in a watch. And somehow the minute markers are also very clear and easy to see, which a matte black dial certainly helps with. I particularly like the grooves in the small dials, an ever so slightly different approach to what I've seen previously, and they look very good even up close. Covering the many complications is naturally a sapphire crystal, which has AR coating on both sides and very effectively cuts reflections with a discreet blue tint. You can customize your bezel and all with ceramic inserts known to be incredibly strong, with a die bezel, a 12-hour time zone bezel like in this case, or a countdown bezel. I'd say the die one makes little sense here, but one thing you do need to consider is that whilst the bezel is incredibly close to what I consider to be the best feeling bezel in the world, in the ones that Damasco and Germany produces, It's not too difficult to knock out a line by mistake. So don't go betting your life or even your phone calls across the dateline primarily on this bezel, or there may be some minor to major regrets. Moving on to the case, which as mentioned is incredibly strong and should take some effort to scratch, it once again echoes the German approach of sloping lugs, which is a very attractive look. I will say this though, exactly like the German watches that use this approach, the case doesn't do much to hide its heft on the wrist, but acts more like a Panzer cartridge has landed on your wrist. To some extent, you can't do much here with the excellent push buttons and the grippy, signed and lumed for good measure crown, but you need to be aware of this. I know some people don't appreciate engraved logos or text on cases, but the Draken on the opposite side I think looks really good, and it's certainly better than a big plain slab of steel. On the case back is a deeply engraved image of a white rhino, cementing the commitment to anti-poaching. Behind here hides this beast of a movement in the ETA Valjoux 7750 automatic. It's an elaborate grade with a 48-hour power reserve. It is tried and tested and it should last you a long time and be reasonably easy to have serviced and even regulated if you wish. It does tend to take its sweet time to move the day and date, starting often to drift them slowly about 30 to 40 minutes ahead of time. Hopefully you're in bed sleeping then and it won't bother you. The Bezel bracelet is all brushed titanium like the case and is extremely appropriate to the watch I think. It tapers to 22 from its 22 start. The signed push button release buckle contains a fairly gritty quick extension feel which will likely loosen up over time. And we also get screw pins throughout so you can adjust this yourself no problem. It must be said that the end links leaves a little to be desired in a seamless fit, but this is a prototype so I'm sure this will be improved on in production. Due to the size of this case, it looks best with fitted end links, but I have some strap options which I will show you on this model and also quickly on the Mecha Quartz version. 2 from Draken directly and another couple from my own collection. The Lume is excellent, which is something both Zinn and Damasco are yet to perfect in my experience. I particularly like the small seconds Lume hands. If you're still watching, you are likely interested in this watch or perhaps the brand itself, and either way you can't go wrong. Mike makes many other smaller and different watches if that's your concern, and also different price ranges as well. The default currency is New Zealand dollars and there is a 20% off promotion for this model at the moment. All currencies will fluctuate slightly based on the daily exchange rate. The Kruger Auto on bracelet starts at €1,228 or $1,426. And if you want the same look with a chronograph function and battery-driven timekeeping, you can get the same look at $452 or €327. You'll save on all of these options if you choose a strap instead. I would highly suggest you have a good look around whilst on the sites, since there sure are some interesting pieces from Draken. And once again, you are supporting a small family brand that makes a living from this offering in its lovely slice of nature in New Zealand. And I really can't see a more worthwhile reason to buy this over the big brands than that, other than the quality on offer here of course. Thank you very much for watching and I'll catch you next time.